Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Hey, it's Maya and Sim from the Girls That Invest podcast. If you are an IT or security pro, you know managing devices, identities, and applications can feel overwhelming and honestly risky. That's where Trellica by 1Password comes in. It helps conquer SaaS sprawl and shadow IT by discovering every app your team uses, managed or not. With pre-built app profiles, you can assess risk, manage access, and even optimize your software spend. Plus, it simplifies onboarding, offboarding, and compliance, all while cutting costs by eliminating unused licenses. Take the first step to better security for your team. Learn more at onepassword.com/special offer.
Welcome back to Texas, the home of Tesla. My name is Brandon Erhart. I'm the General Counsel and Corporate Secretary, and welcome to your 2025 Annual Shareholder Meeting. Similar to last year, this meeting will have 2 parts. We'll go through the 14 ballot items, and the second part, Elon Musk. Today, we will discuss business outlook and may make other forward-looking statements. Such statements or predictions are based on current expectations. Actual events or results may differ materially due to a number of risks and uncertainties that are disclosed in our SEC filings. Such forward-looking statements represent our views as of today and should not be relied on thereafter. We make no obligation to update them after today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kilowatt, a podcast about electric vehicles, renewable energy, autonomous driving, and much, much more. My name is Bodie, and I am your host. And on today's episode, we are going to talk about Tesla's 2025 annual shareholder meeting. I'm just going to get this right out of the way. Elon got his pay package. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But he got his... He still has to hit some milestones, so it's not like he gets it automatically. But his pay package is in play, so we'll kind of see over the next few years how many lawsuits pop up and challenge the shareholder vote. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, Tesla dotted their I's and crossed their T's, and I've said this before. I don't have a problem with anybody getting paid, even if it's an astronomical amount of money. The problem I have is when you want to get paid because you want to own 22% of the company or 25% of the company, somewhere in that range. But you owned that much of the company before you bought Twitter. So the problem I have with this is that you could have not bought Twitter and continued to hold on to that percentage of the company. But instead you bought Twitter, and now you want that back. That's kind of where I have the problem. All right, back to the task at hand. This shareholder meeting was around 2 hours long. It was broken into 2 parts. The first part is the actual shareholder meeting, and the second part is Elon freestyling, just talking. And actually, when Elon does these, just kind of takes questions from the audience, it actually ends up being fairly entertaining. And, we kind of get a better idea as to what he's thinking about for the future of Tesla. So we'll make sure to cover that too. But this particular episode will only be about the shareholder meeting itself, like the actual business of the meeting. And then we'll have a second episode that will include all of the Elon's Q&A and his opening remarks, or his remarks just in general. All right. First, we're going to hear from Tesla's board chair, Robin Denholm.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to welcome you all to the 2025 annual shareholder meeting. I apologize for my voice. I've been speaking to investors for the last couple of weeks, nonstop, I think. So we here at Tesla could not continue to do the impossible without you, our shareholders. Our ongoing engagement with you all makes what we do possible. And I'm thrilled at how many of you made your voices heard this year as we aspire to create more value than any other company in history. Yes. Without your support, we could not have reached the heights that we've already demonstrated over our relatively short yet storied history. As we further expand our ambition in our quest to build a world of sustainable abundance.
Here we go. How many times do you think they're going to say sustainable abundance in this shareholder meeting? I think it's going to be a lot. All right, continuing on.
We are excited to continue this partnership. Tesla is at an inflection point. I think I've said that 3,000 times over the last few weeks. And this last year has been a critical one in our history. I want to take some time to review the acknowledgement and achievements by the Tesla team, of which I and my fellow directors are incredibly proud of. We continue to redefine the automotive industry across production, customer experience, and ownership. Model Y was once again the best-selling vehicle worldwide of any vehicle in 2024. And with the new Model Y released earlier this year, it's now better than ever. Our energy business continues to reach new heights, and we deployed 31 gigawatt hours in 2024, more than double what we achieved in 2023. Fabulous. I love the energy business.
It seems like to me the applause and the whooping in this particular section, maybe not throughout the whole shareholder meetings, but this seems like this is something that is a little bit staged, because it sounds like the same person wooing, and then it's clapping, and it's at a particular point in time where you're supposed to woo and clap. It just seems very orchestrated. And if you're ever wondering when I'm cutting up earnings calls, what I'm thinking to myself, it's this kind of stuff. I just happen to be super tired and my inhibitions are super low right now. All right, let's go ahead and continue on.
And we are actively investing in both of these businesses as we aim to maximize their installed base of production globally. The installed base serves as the platform for our future value, and that creation over time, Tesla will achieve through services such as robotaxi and virtual power plants, powered by our real-world AI. In 2024, through the use of our products, Tesla consumers avoided releasing nearly 32 million metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions. And this is a 70% increase year over year. Our ability to avoid emissions will only accelerate from here as we displace larger volumes of fossil fuel-based alternatives and increase the utilization of our products through AI. But emission avoidance is not only the thing that we focus on here at Tesla. Improving safety has been paramount to our mission since day one. Our vehicles consistently achieve the highest safety standards when tested across the world. And that safety is increasingly enhanced with autopilot technology. In 2024, our global fleet of vehicles experienced one crash after driving more than 6.8 million miles. That's amazing, 6.8 million miles.
Does that not sound like manufactured clapter to you? Come on. It sounds like it to me. All right. I think everything she just said was great, and I don't really have anything to add to it. I just wanted to point out she had to reiterate her point to get somebody to clap for her, and I believe that person missed they were off on the script, and they probably will be fired. All right, moving on, continuing on, with her opening remarks.
And to put that in context, that is 10 times better or safer than the average driver in the US, 10 times better. And in 2024, and is nearly double the safety performance of our autopilot technology in 2018. With many enhancements we expect to make from here, we believe our autonomy technology will improve this performance by orders of magnitude.
Okay. So I do think that this is great. I do think that the Tesla safety features are fantastic, and I do think that they keep me safer. Do I think they're perfect? Not by a long shot. When she's talking about the crashes and how long, how many miles driven between crashes, for my understanding, these companies get to decide what's a crash and what's not a crash, and that's that's fine, that they get to decide this, but not every company. Like Waymo does it differently than Tesla, and Tesla does it differently than Uber, and the whole thing. So yes, this is true, probably by their numbers, right? But you can still have a crash, and maybe it wasn't a serious crash. Maybe it was very minor. That may not be something that's reported because it might not meet that threshold. I mean, if you got into an accident and somebody got seriously injured, obviously that is going to be reported. But if the car is being tested and it bumped into another car at the parking lot and there's, less than X amount of damage price-wise, then that might not be counted. So I think it's worth mentioning that. All right, continuing on.
Sustainability extends beyond the impact of product use. The Tesla team continues to focus meticulously, evaluating each step on the product journey, from raw material extraction to intermediate processing, manufacturing, delivery, product use, and the end of life, looking all the way through to making sure that we reduce our resource impact and the resource use, and bringing that to life across the entire sustainable and closed-loop economy. For more details on what we do each and every day, I encourage you all to read the Impact Report. It is an amazing document, and it continues to improve over time in terms of what the team is doing. And we are also laser focused on ensuring the resulting prosperity of our efforts can be shared by all. This applies to our employees, our customers, and even those who have yet to enjoy one of our products or engage with our company in any meaningful way. Tesla spends countless hours ensuring that we procure the most responsibly sourced and produced inputs. We maximize the safety of our operations, and that all Tesla employees can benefit from the appreciation of our equity through our incentive programs, and that we continue to bring down the cost of our fabulous products across the range, increasing that accessibility for all. At the end of the day, we here at Tesla are working tirelessly to make the world a better place for all through innovation and grit. To our amazing employees, thank you for all of your hard work in achieving our mission. You are the beating heart of Tesla, and we cannot continue to deliver without you. To the management team who never get a shout out, thank you for your huge efforts. To our shareholders, all of you in the room and on the webcast globally, once again, thank you for your support. Please know that we are listening to you and are here to represent your interests. You are the owners of the company, and your voices, your perspectives, and your input are critical to what we do here at Tesla each and every day. My fellow directors and I serve you as your fiduciaries and oversee Tesla's mission, purpose, and strategy, and these responsibilities are in our minds every day. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank my fellow directors for their diligence, their dedication, and their tireless efforts. Changing the world for the better is always accompanied by difficulties. And what I can say is that you can't do it by checking the boxes and just reviewing PowerPoint presentations. Thank you for rolling up your sleeves, each and every one of our directors, the hard work that you do, lending your unique talents and delivering to our shareholders. Thank you. Thank you. Our accomplishments have been hard-earned, and these last several years have not been without their challenges. We still have much to accomplish, and I believe that we have the right team, the right technologies, the right physical infrastructure to create a world that we've only just begun to imagine. The future is bright. Thank you. Now I'm going to hand it back to Brandon. Thank you very much.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Why does every recipe I try need 18 ingredients, including a jar of something paste I'll never use again, but will sit in my fridge for 9 months? I just want dinner in the oven, fast. That's why I love Blue Apron's new one-pan assemble and bake meals. They send you fresh ingredients that are already chopped. All you do is put it all together and bake. That's it. No chopping, no weird leftovers, just delicious, easy-to-make meals. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
If you're navigating anxiety, depression, relationship challenges, postpartum struggles, or something else, you deserve care that meets you where you are. Grow Therapy is designed to help you find a therapist who fits your needs and supports the way you want to feel. They connect you with thousands of independent, licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions. You can search by insurance, provider specialty, treatment methods, and more to find a therapist who works for you. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/ACAST today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/ACAST. growtherapy.com/ACAST. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but Mint's premium wireless is $15 a month. But I'd like to offer one other perk. We have no stores. That means no small talk. Crazy weather we're having. No, it's not. It's just weather. It is an introvert's dream. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
All right. I don't have much to add to this, or anything to add to it, really. So we'll go ahead and move on to the shareholder proposals. I do have the Tesla proxy statement up, and where it is appropriate, I will read from it if it is appropriate, if we need a little bit more context on something. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step or the next phase. Our next speaker, he's going to tell us all of the cool things that shareholders will be voting on today.
We now will proceed with the meeting. The items of the agenda are as follows. There are 6 Tesla proposals. The election of our 3 Class 3 directors, Ira, Joe, and Kathleen, to serve a term of 3 years until their successors are duly qualified. Number 2, to approve say-on pay on a non-binding advisory basis. 3, to ratify the appointment of PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP as our independent registered public accounting firm for fiscal year 2025. 4, to adopt amendments to our organizational documents to eliminate certain super majority voting requirements. 5, to amend and restate the 2019 Equity Incentive Plan. And number 6, the 2025 CEO Performance Plan to Elon Musk. The Tesla board has recommended that all shareholders vote for each of the director nominees and for the Tesla proposals except for the one on supermajority voting where no recommendation has been made. We also have 8 shareholder proposals that are described in our proxy statement. I'd like to remind the shareholders that Tesla's board has prepared a statement of opposition on each of them except for the one regarding XAI. Those statements are in our proxy.
Okay. So we're going to start off our shareholder proposals with the XAI proposal. We'll hear the gentleman who raised the proposal, and then Tesla's made no recommendation for or against. So let's go ahead and listen to that.
Now let's go through the shareholder proposals. The first one is an advisory vote regarding board authorization of investment in XAI. Our board has not made a recommendation on this. The shareholder proposal is proposed by Mr. Stephen Hawk, who I believe is here to present the proposal. Mr. Hawk?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, fellow shareholders, Elon, and esteemed board members. Thank you for this historic opportunity. I am Stephen Hawk, shareholder since 2012. It's truly my honor to present shareholder proposal number 7. It is the proposal is simple. I urge the board to exercise its discretion and authorize a strategic investment in XAI in some meaningful way, sooner rather than later. This isn't just capital, it's about formalizing Tesla's role as a leader in autonomous intelligence, turning AI into our new book, not just a new chapter. Tesla has always been an AI company, revolutionizing transportation, energy, and robotics through FSD and Optimus. But as we approach the singularity during this tsunami of AI, outsourcing our brain to external providers risks misaligned goals, data vulnerabilities, and lost innovation. XAI, founded by Elon, is different. It is maximally truth-seeking, curiosity-driven, and aligned with humanity's best interests, like Tesla's mission for sustainable abundance. XAI was seeded with Tesla talent, enabling bidirectional flow for highest caliber staff attraction and retention. Integrating Grok models within our vast real-world data would further supercharge FSD for safer vehicles, empower Optimus to navigate complex worlds, and to optimize energy grids. Think vertical integration of Tesla as a neural link of AI platforms, controlling the coming Optimus army with prudent stewardship. Financially, it's a no-brainer. XAI's explosive growth could yield massive returns, strengthening our balance sheet amid EV pressures, with Elon's stewardship the best for shepherding AI safely. Conflicts are minimal. Board oversight ensures fairness. XAI needs Tesla more than vice versa. But together we foster human happiness, consciousness, and meaning beyond work, shifting purpose from labor to truth-seeking in a world of abundance. Shareholders, we can't be spectators. Tesla must actively participate. Let's not outsource our destiny, but rather own it and maintain power, control, and safety. I call on the board to formalize this investment relationship and on you to support it. Thank you to Elon, and special thanks to Tesla Boomer Mama, Alexandra Mertz.
All right. I want to be respectful, but that was very sycophanty. It felt Tesla has not always been an AI company. Tesla was a car company. Was founded. It was not founded on AI. Tesla's first vehicle was fairly, at the time, it was revolutionary, but rudimentary in terms of the car that they put out. It was awesome. Don't get me wrong. They did a lot of cool stuff, but they had to, kind of Frankenstein together a car, and they didn't have the parts, which is why what they did is so amazing, because they kind of had to create their own system, right? So taking nothing away from Tesla, but to say that Tesla's always been an AI company is ridiculous. To say that Grok is the only true AI, or XAI is the only true AI that seeks truth, and all this other nonsense that he had in there, that's all nonsense. Grok falls for this same BS that all the other AI systems fall for. It is absolutely not the bastion of truth. It is an AI system. It gets things wrong, and it has biases like every other AI system has biases. And by the way, I don't think an AI system in general having biases is the end of the world, because we're in a learning phase. We are going to have these kind of things pop up. Now, ignoring them, I think, is a problem. But when you find them and you correct them, I think that's awesome. But XAI is not all of the things that this guy said it is. It's a very impressive company, and Grok is a very impressive chatbot. And what XAI is doing is isn't unique. Excuse me. That's what I meant to say. So no. Now, if Tesla makes a big investment into XAI, is that a bad move? No, it's not a bad move. However, the way that this whole thing was couched in, like, it's the savior AI, that's a little much. That was really hard for me to listen to be honest with you. And he gave sustainable abundance. Like, when somebody says at any time for the rest of my life, when somebody says sustainable abundance, I'm going to think cult, and I'm going to think you're lying. That's just how it's going to be. I know it's not fair, and I know that is my bias, but I don't plan on fixing it. And it is for that reason that I recommend voting no on this proposal. Let's move on to our next proposal.
The second shareholder proposal is an advisory vote regarding adopting targets and reporting on certain sustainability metrics with our senior executive compensation plans. Our board has recommended that our shareholders vote against this proposal, as explained in our proxy. The shareholder proposal is proposed by Tulip Share Capital, LLC, whose representative, Mr. Akrouge, has prepared a pre-recorded message.
Hello, shareholders. I am Antoine Argouge, CEO of the impact fund Tulip Share, speaking in support of Proposal 8. Our proposal asks Tesla's board to take a simple but meaningful step: link a portion of the executive compensation to measurable sustainability performance. Tesla's success has always been built on bold, measurable goals: production target, market cap milestone, and innovation. But as we enter a new era of scrutiny around climate, labor, and governance issues, it's time that part of those milestones also reflect how sustainable that success is achieved. Proposal 8 is not asking to replace all the financial goals. We're asking to strengthen them. Imagine if one or two tranches of the future compensation were tied to tangible outcomes such as reduction in carbon intensity per vehicle, verified improvement in worker safety, or supply chain transparency. These are metrics that protect long-term shareholder value, reduce legal and reputational risk, and ensure Tesla's leadership is rewarded not only for scale, but for sustainable impact. Tesla's mission is to accelerate the world's transition, linking compensation to sustainability metrics, ensure that this mission lives at the very core of the leadership decision-making. This is how Tesla can continue to lead, not just in innovation, but also in responsibility. We urge shareholders to vote for this proposal and support a compensation framework that drives both performance and purpose. Thank you.
All right. Instead of me reading Tesla's very boring statement as to why they don't think that shareholders should vote for this proposal, I threw it into ChatGPT, and I was like, hey, just kind of tell me why Tesla doesn't want people to vote for this. And here is what I got back. First, Tesla's board believes that this is redundant. They say that they already have strong human rights and sustainability policies in place. Their global human rights policy aligns with the UN's guiding principles in this area. They have a responsible sourcing policy and a supplier code of conduct, and that follows the OECD standards, which I would imagine is a global standard that I'm not going to look it up, but it follows it. And then their annual impact reports show how Tesla is identifying and managing risks like forced labor or unethical sourcing with their suppliers. They also say that it's a little bit too prescriptive. It would force Tesla to take specific actions rather than letting a management adapt to the policies as needed. So that could kind of constrain what they're able to do, which would potentially divert some resources. In short, they want to avoid being locked in or narrowed into some sort of bureaucratic set of requirements. They also believe that they already disclose enough. And, they cite shareholder confidence. And, 91% of shareholders approve Tesla. This is their part of their argument. 91% of shareholders approve executive pay in 2023. 72% ratified Elon's 2018 pay package. And so they're using those numbers to show that the investors are supporting their existing practices. I'm going to push back on this a little bit. They may have supported it in 2023. They may have supported it in 2024. We are currently in 2025, getting into 2026. So things change. In terms of, if we had to summarize this all up, Tesla wants you to vote no because the company already meets or exceeds these proposals. The proposal would end up, micromanaging or limiting their options, and it would waste resources. Now, I will say that when I talk to organizations like Lead the Charge and, some of these other environmental organizations out there, it does seem like Tesla does kind of lead in these areas. Could they do better? Sure. I absolutely 100% believe it. But in terms of, are they unreasonable in what they're saying? Other than them citing shareholder confidence is the reason why. Yeah, I think they're probably legit in what they're saying on the surface. And I haven't done a whole lot of research into this, so please don't come at me with a bunch of details. Like, if you want to add more to this particular part of the conversation, please do. But I do it in a respectful way, because I'm already telling you, like, I'm only basing this off of what I currently understand the system to be, or how I understand them to work. But yeah, as a general rule, like, I think they do a pretty decent job as a automotive company. I do think the 91% of shareholders and the 72% of shareholders thing, I think that's bogus. That's completely irrelevant, because maybe they did vote for those pay packages and such, but that does not mean that 91% or 72% of shareholders are in lockstep with what Tesla's doing. That's a little bit of an overstatement, but I think this was put in there to help bolster Elon's pay package, to kind of help, hey, this is a proposal. Oh, by the way, you guys supported Elon in 2024 and 2023. That's my cynical take on it. But in terms of how Tesla kind of manages these, particular policies and principles that they have, I think they're doing a good job. All right, let's go ahead into the next proposal.
Our third shareholder proposal is an advisory vote regarding an audit of certain labor practices. The board has recommended against that, as set forth in our proxy. The shareholder proposal is proposed by the National Center for Public Policy Research, whose representative Stefan Padfield has prepared a pre-recorded message.
My name is Stefan Padfield, and I am the Executive Director of the Free Enterprise Project. The Free Enterprise Project is part of the National Center for Public Policy Research, which is the proponent of Proposal 9, requesting that Tesla conduct and report on a child labor audit. Let me begin by emphasizing that we are strong supporters of free enterprise, innovation, and shareholder value. We recognize Tesla's extraordinary contributions to the electric vehicle market. Our proposal is not anti-Tesla. It is pro-transparency and pro-shareholder. Proposal 9 asks for something very simple and reasonable, a verified accounting of whether and to what extent child labor is implicated in Tesla's supply chain. Tesla's opposition statement relies on policies, but policies are not the same as proof. A quote-unquote zero-tolerance policy is commendable, but without independent verification, it is only a promise, not evidence. The U.S. Department of Labor continues to list cobalt mining in the Democratic Republic of Congo among the sectors with the worst forms of child labor. A 2023 white paper on the financial and material impacts of child labor, authored by Hayes, identifies Tesla as a case study in the ongoing risks that cobalt and other mineral sourcing pose to automakers. And while Tesla's own 2024 impact report notes that the company invested more human and legal resources than ever before to combat forced and child labor, it provides no metrics showing whether those investments are working. Shareholders deserve data, not just assurances. We are asking Tesla to back its admirable words with verifiable results through a third-party audit or a transparent report. This is not just a moral question, it's a governance and risk management issue. Reputational, legal, and operational risks can directly affect shareholder value. So too can the risk that enthusiasm for electric vehicles undermines proper accounting of the often hidden cost that child labor may be embedded deep in EV supply chains. If Tesla is truly the industry leader it claims to be, it should also lead in transparency. We all know that proxy vote counts can be distorted by a plethora of conflicts of interest. Accordingly, we urge Tesla's board to see this proposal not as an attack, but as an opportunity to properly account for the costs and benefits of Tesla's mission, regardless of the final vote. If you have not done so already, please vote for Proposal 9. Thank you.
Okay, so Tesla's argument here is that this isn't needed because the company already has strong human rights and child labor policies in place. And they say more rules would waste time and money without improving any protections. So Tesla, in the main point, Tesla says that, through their code of business ethics, supplier code conduct, and global human rights policy, this applies to the entire supply chain. Tesla's also they co-fund the Fair Cobalt Alliance in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And this is to help improve conditions for small-scale miners and remove children from the mining work. And then there are regular reviews to make sure that everybody's adhering to the human rights policy. Tesla says they have a zero tolerance for violations, and they're direct sourcing. They have direct sourcing for better control. So Tesla is the one operating some of these mines. They directly sourced 61% of cobalt, which allows for better oversight, according to them. And then they say that every cobalt supplier was audited and several underwent additional checks against international standards for human rights and environmental safety. I don't think that this gentleman is saying anything different other than he would like an audit that shows that is the case. It's not to say, it's one thing to say, hey, we have a policy and be able to point to it. It's quite another to actually prove that you're doing these things and show what the results are. So I think this is a reasonable proposal. Let's move on to the next one.
Our fourth shareholder proposal is a vote to amend the bylaws to repeal a derivative suit ownership threshold. Our board has recommended against, as set forth in the proxy. The shareholder proposal is proposed by the Comptroller of the State of New York as the lead filer, whose representative, Thomas D. Napoli, has proposed a pre-recorded message.
This is Thomas DiNapoli, New York State Comptroller. As trustee of the New York State Common Retirement Fund, owner of more than 3.3 million shares, we urge shareholders of Tesla to vote for Proposal 10 to amend the bylaws to repeal the 3% derivative suit ownership threshold. We filed the proposal, along with New York City Comptroller Brad Lander, to restore one of the most fundamental investor rights, the right of shareholders to hold directors and officers legally accountable when they breach their fiduciary duties. When Tesla asked investors last year to approve its move from Delaware to Texas, the board assured us that shareholder protections were similar in both states. Yet within months, Tesla's board engaged in a bait-and-switch scheme and immediately turned its back on its investors by amending its bylaws to reduce shareholder rights as soon as Texas offered an opportunity to do so. The new bylaw allowed Tesla to block nearly every investor from bringing a derivative suit unless they hold 3% of the company's stock, currently about $30 billion in Tesla shares. That threshold leaves only Elon Musk and a handful of giant Wall Street funds with any legal standing to act on their own. It effectively makes the board immune from accountability. Tesla claims this rule is meant to discourage frivolous lawsuits, but courts already have tools to dismiss meritless cases. This bylaw doesn't stop abuse. It stops proper oversight. And it tells shareholders that the board no longer wants to be answerable to them. Our proposal simply seeks to repeal that bylaw and restore accountability. It ensures that if directors violate their duties, all investors still have a path to protect the company's long-term value. Unfortunately, this attack on shareholder rights is part of a larger pattern at Tesla. We see a board that lacks true independence. The board has allowed our CEO to divide his attention among multiple outside ventures and then offered a pay proposal that could hand him a $1 trillion windfall and even more unchecked power. These are not isolated issues. They all stem from the same problem, a board that refuses to act as an independent check on management. Tesla has changed the world through innovation, but no company, no matter how visionary, can thrive without accountability. Strong governance protects investors and strengthens companies over time. I urge all shareholders to send a clear message that accountability, independence, and respect for shareholders are essential to Tesla's future success. Thank you for your time and consideration.
All right. So when we look at this, Tesla is saying vote no, or their board is recommending a vote no. And kind of at the crux of it is the board is arguing that the proposal is based on misleading claims, and they sort out, the misleading claims and then they correct them. And I'm not going to go through that here because we have limited time. But it would also tie Tesla's hands in managing shareholder lawsuits responsibly, which I really think that that's code for it would make it harder for Tesla because there's going to be a lot more shareholder lawsuits or the possibility of that to happen. On the surface, this seems like a reasonable proposal. Like, I don't think that Tesla and the board have unchecked power. Like, I do hear that that's being said a lot just for different people making different arguments. But on the other side, Elon Musk and his board, Elon's board is stacked with friends and family. And because it's stacked, it's not exactly the most objective board out there, It is definitely it is definitely friendly towards Elon. So I can see why a group of shareholders would actually want this.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Hi, this is Joe from Vanta. In today's digital world, compliance regulations are changing constantly, and earning customer trust has never mattered more. Vanta helps companies get compliant fast and stay secure with the most advanced AI, automation, and continuous monitoring out there. So whether you're a startup going for your first SOC 2 or ISO 27001, or a growing enterprise managing vendor risk, Vanta makes it quick, easy, and scalable. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. Get started at Vanta.com.
Let's move on to our next proposal.
The fifth shareholder proposal is a vote to amend Article 10 of the bylaws. The board has recommended that our shareholders vote against it, as set forth in our proxy. This shareholder proposal is proposed by the Treasurer of the State of Illinois and trustee of the Bright Directions College and Savings Trust as the lead filer, whose representative, Michael Ferrix, has prepared a pre-recorded message.
Fellow Tesla shareholders and members of the board, my name is Michael Ferrix. I serve as Treasurer for the State of Illinois and as trustee of the Illinois College Savings Programs. I'm here to present Proposal 11, which asks Tesla to adopt a simple investor protection. If the board chooses to impose more restrictive requirements for submitting shareholder proposals, as newly permitted under Texas law, those changes must be ratified by a supermajority of shareholders. At its core, this proposal is about protecting shareholder rights. If the board decides to limit our ability to submit proposals, this amendment ensures that shareholders have the final say. It helps to ensure that Tesla remains aligned with the will of its investors, plain and simple. Now, why is this important? Tesla is navigating a period of volatility, leadership transitions, intense competition, and heightened scrutiny from regulators and customers. In times like these, strong governance and active shareholder input can be critical. They serve as competitive advantages that position Tesla to lead, not just react. This proposal seeks to implement a reasonable safeguard that would reinforce accountability and build trust. The board itself has emphasized the importance of investor feedback. In the proxy statement, Chair Robin Denholm and Director Kathleen Wilson-Thompson wrote, "We are in Texas because it provides a more predictable governance framework that allows us to hear from you, the people who know Tesla best." If the board actively seeks to hear from shareholders, it's hard to reconcile that position with their opposition to this proposal. To reiterate what's at stake, Texas law now allows shareholder submission thresholds higher than SEC standards, requiring shareholders or groups to hold 3% of voting shares or $1 million in stock to submit a proposal. Compare that to current SEC rules, which allow a shareholder to have holdings as low as $2,000 to $25,000, depending on how long the shareholder has held the stock. If the board chooses to adopt the Texas thresholds, they risk silencing investors who could drive meaningful governance improvements, as well as narrowing the pipeline of ideas. Note that this proposal does not limit the board's direction to evaluate governance options. It simply ensures that if the board adopts the Texas shareholder submission thresholds, a supermajority of shareholders must ratify that decision. That's fair. It's reasonable and fully aligned with the board's stated commitment to its investors. Again, I encourage my fellow investors to vote for Proposal 11 as a clear step towards protecting our rights as shareholders. Thank you.
Okay, so the Tesla board opposes this proposal. They say that it's unnecessary and conflicts with another proposal that they had, that Tesla proposed, which is Proposal 6, which, according to them, would remove all supermajority rules and let shareholders approve changes with a simple majority vote. They talked about how this proposal is partly based on new Texas law, which allows companies to make it harder for shareholders to submit proposals. The Tesla board says that Tesla has not adopted that Texas rule, and the board says that its concern is premature, which I would say if you haven't adopted it yet, you have the option to adopt it. So why not put something in place that would keep you from adopting it? But okay, whatever. And I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff, but it would seem that if you moved to Texas and you changed it so that, you could not effectively sue Tesla under, what was it called again? Jeez, Aloo. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, whatever the last proposal was about suing Tesla, that you needed 3% to be able to do that. And it's not to say that you can sue them under a specific term. And again, I can't remember what that term is. But yeah, just because Tesla hasn't adopted this yet doesn't mean they can't. They've already made a change that some shareholders don't like. Tesla highlights it has strong shareholder engagement, which include one-on-one meetings with investors. I wonder if I bought one share of Tesla stock, if I would get that one-on-one meeting. They have a retail shareholder platform. They have ongoing communications through reports and conferences. The board argues that adding restrictions would reduce flexibility. It would conflict with Tesla's push for simpler majority-based voting and be detrimental to shareholders' ability to adapt. And that is why they vote against. On the surface, this seems like a reasonable proposal, but again, this stuff is so far outside of my area of expertise, which is limiting as I get older. So let's move on to our next proposal.
The sixth shareholder proposal is an advisory vote to elect each director annually. Our board has recommended against, as set forth for the reasons in the proxy. This shareholder proposal is proposed by James McRitchie, who has prepared a pre-recorded message.
Thank you, shareholders. We've presented this proposal before, 2021 and 2024. It won a majority both times, even with board opposition. But Tesla requires a supermajority of shares outstanding, so those majorities weren't enough. Today we ask again, join the 90% of S&P 500 companies that elect all directors annually. Declassification means accountability every year, not every 3 years. Most institutional investors support this reform. It's the retail votes we need here today. A Delaware court recently found 3 major governance failures at Tesla. The board wasn't independent, the disclosures to shareholders on its pay plan were misleading, and the board failed to negotiate properly on our behalf. Declassifying the board is part of the cure. It ensures shareholders can hold directors accountable each year or nominate qualified replacements when needed. Matt Moscardi of Free Float Media calls this one of the most important votes of the year because it could shift Tesla's board from a friends and family plan to independent professionals with the skills necessary for Tesla's next chapter. We're also endorsed by Nell Minow, co-founder of Value Edge Advisors, and ISS, one of the most respected proxy advisors. John Chevedden's related proposal, number 13, calls for simple majority voting. We'll need that reform, too, for this proposal to succeed. Tesla's Musk premium, once a source of strength, is fading, along with his global reputation. Remember, Tesla is his only publicly traded company. It's the liquid piggy bank that fuels his other ventures. Yes, Elon Musk is brilliant, but no company should depend on a single personality. Either he stays long enough to keep using your capital elsewhere, or he moves on when the tap runs dry. Either way, shareholders must prepare for Tesla's future, a democratic, professional company led by a capable, independent board. Let's build Tesla to attract customers, employees, and investors who all contribute to its innovations. Vote for proposal number 4, declassify the board. Vote for proposal number 13, eliminate supermajority requirements. Together, Let's restore accountability, independence, and trust at Tesla. Vote now before the polls close. Your vote can make a real difference in Tesla's future and your future as well. Thank you.
So, again, the board opposes this proposal. Right now, Tesla's bylaws require a 2/3 supermajority to shorten director terms. The board can't change that without shareholder approval. The board is saying that they promised that once shareholder turnout hits 65%, they'd ask shareholders to vote on removing the supermajority rules. And they're saying that's going to happen this year under Tesla's Proposal 6. They argue it makes sense to remove the supermajority rules first, then consider board declassification later. The board says its mission needs to be long-term focus, and annual elections could lead to short-term pressure. I agree to that. From special interest investors. The board points to its record of shareholder engagement while allowing proxy access and reducing director terms in the past. They believe the current structure is already balances accountability with long-term stability. And so, basically Tesla's board said not yet. And by not yet, they might mean not yet, or they might mean not ever. I'm not clear. I don't know if they hit that 65% shareholder turnout that they mentioned, if they in reality would ask for this. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's move on to our next question or proposal.
Our seventh shareholder proposal is an advisory vote regarding a proposal that won 54% at last year's meeting. Our board has recommended against for the reasons set forth in the proxy. This shareholder proposal is proposed by John Chevedden, who is on the line to present this proposal. Mr. Chevedden?
Hello, this is John Chevedden. Proposal 13. This proposal is about Tesla being governed by a Democratic majority vote standard. This Proposal 13 is proud to be on the same topic as the Tesla Proposal 6. Shareholders request that Tesla take the steps necessary so that each voting requirement in the Tesla charter and bylaws that calls for a greater than simple majority vote be replaced by a Democratic requirement for a majority of the votes cast for and against such proposals or a simple majority vote standard. It is important to vote for both Proposal 13 and Proposal 6, which are on the very same topic. In fact, it's more important to vote for Proposal 6 because Proposal 6 is a binding proposal, and this Proposal 13 is an advisory proposal. It is important to vote for Proposal 13 because Proposal 13 is a backup proposal in case the Tesla Proposal 6 does not get enough votes. This Proposal 13 has one advantage over Proposal 6 in that it requires less votes to be approved by shareholders than the Tesla Proposal 6, since this Proposal 13 is an advisory proposal. But it's still important to vote for both proposals. Adoption of Proposal 6 will pave the way for annual election of each Tesla director sooner than this Proposal 13. Annual election of each Tesla director will tend to keep Tesla directors away from their current status as being lapdog enablers for Mr. Musk and Mr. Musk's outrageous executive pay and Mr. Musk's outrageous distractions from Tesla. Please vote yes for Tesla being governed by a Democratic majority vote standard, Proposal 13, and vote for the Tesla Proposal 6 on the same topic.
I'm not even going to give. Tesla recommended you vote against this. They said the extra disclosures requested would be burdensome and they would have to be filed within 4 days of the meeting to the SEC. It'd be costly and not useful. Tesla said that they already achieved a 72% participation rate in 2024. And they said that the gentleman who read out the proposal their statement is factually wrong. Whether it is or isn't, I'm not sure. I'm also kind of curious as to how many people, because you have to vote on the proposal, like you submit it and then it's voted on and then they're elevated to the shareholder meeting. That's the way I understand that it happens. And I wonder how many people submitted proposals just to talk smack about Elon's pay proposal or Elon or his, what they consider to be, let's say overly enthusiastic board members when it comes to Elon and everything he does. I wonder if they just submitted to put that kind of thing on the record. That's all I'm wondering. All right, let's move on. I think we have one more.
Our eighth and final shareholder proposal is an advisory vote to seek shareholder approval before adopting certain bylaw amendments pursuant to Texas law. The board has opposed it for the reasons set forth in the proxy. This shareholder proposal is proposed by Eric and Emily Johnson and Bruce Bryce Matherin as co-filers, whose representative Bruce Abear from New Ground Social Investment has prepared a pre-recorded message.
Good afternoon. I'm Bruce Herbert of New Ground Social Investment in Seattle, and I stand to move proposal number 14, a simple request that Tesla hold a vote before adopting any bylaw that would restrict the ability to file a shareholder proposal. Here's why this matters. Texas recently passed a law that allows companies to set sky-high barriers to shareholder participation. Instead of the SEC's current one-year ownership threshold of $25,000, these Texas rules would require owning $1 million of stock, or 3% of the company, in Tesla's case roughly $30 billion, before one could file a proposal. And Tesla could enact this without a shareholder vote, simply by issuing a notice. This is not shareholder democracy. It's silencing shareholders, like nearly every one of us in this room, whether you are an individual, retiree, or institution. The backers of such thresholds presume you must be ultra-rich in order to have a good idea, which on its face is a baseless and undemocratic proposition. The shareholder proposal process serves both Tesla and the capital markets. This is because stockholders frequently spot emerging risks long before they hit the headlines, whether in the form of labor relations, climate impacts, or failures in governance. Shareholders provide an efficient, early warning system that helps companies to stay ahead of the curve. We are a low-cost, high-value cornerstone that keeps companies and capital markets healthy. In closing, corporate democracy is not a nuisance. It's an important safeguard. It's how shareholders ensure accountability and informed long-term value creation. The idea here is quite simple. Before limiting shareholder rights, put it to a shareholder vote. Therefore, to keep Tesla engaged, accountable, and forward-looking, please vote for proposal number 14. Thank you.
So the way that I understand this proposal is that shareholders want to limit Tesla's board from changing bylaws on its own. They want, the board to be, I guess, more accountable. They don't want to use the new Texas law to make it harder for investors to do things. This is a common theme that we're hearing through most of these proposals. Tesla says that this is not necessary. The law took effect in September of 2025. Tesla hasn't even had a chance to use it yet. Tesla's board says it needs flexibility to react to changing Texas laws in Texas and Delaware and beyond. There are multiple proposals about this same issue, according to Tesla. Tesla says that flexibility is better than restrictions, and that's great. Flexibility is better than restrictions. I agree, unless those, and I'm not saying they are, but unless that flexibility is being abused and power is shifting away from shareholders to the company. And by the way, if the power was all in the shareholders' hands, I don't think that's a good idea either. I think there needs to be a balance. Just like labor and management, for all you folks that are not union lovers out there like myself, I do think there needs to be a balance. That one group can't be more powerful than the other. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, they also stress that Tesla is currently listening to shareholders. They built a shareholder platform for retail investors. They believe this proposal would tie their hands just as corporate rules are evolving. And they said Tesla is already responsive and doesn't need new limits to stay accountable. maybe this is true, but Tesla definitely needs, or not Tesla. Let me change this. I think companies definitely need to be held accountable. And if you're a shareholder, your way of holding these companies accountable is this kind of thing at the shareholder meeting, bringing up proposals and stuff like that. And it does seem that Tesla, other than buying X or putting an investment in XAI, it does seem that Tesla's against most of these shareholder meetings. I've been doing these shareholder proposals. I've been doing this since 2016, and that's kind of been the narrative throughout. Okay, so what proposals passed and what didn't? First, we'll start with the shareholder proposals.
I declare that the polls are now closed. Based on the proxies that we have received and the votes submitted at the meeting, I'd like to announce these results on a preliminary basis. With respect to the shareholder proposals items 8 through 14, our shareholders have supported the recommendations on the Tesla board on all of them, other than Proposal 12. With respect to Proposal 7 regarding XAI, while we have received more votes in favor than we did in against, there were a significant number of abstentions. Since this is an advisory vote, the board will examine the next steps in light of this level of shareholder support.
Okay, so shareholder 12 is the proposal to elect each director annually. So that was voted a yes. Everything else went along with the board of no. And then there was too many people that abstained from the acquiring or investing in XAI. So they're going to look into it further, which is, I think, a good, responsible thing to do. And let's find out which Tesla proposals passed.
Now, moving on to the Tesla proposals. First, on the proposal to adopt amendments to our organizational documents to eliminate certain supermajority voting requirements, our shareholders have not approved. Second, on the Say on Pay advisory vote, our shareholders have approved. Third, on the ratification of the appointment of PricewaterhouseCoopers as our Tesla's independent registered public accounting firm for the 2025 fiscal year, shareholders have approved. Fourth, on the election of our 3 Class 3 directors, Ira, Joe, and Kathleen, our shareholders have reelected them. Fifth, on the amended and restated 2019 Equity Incentive Plan, our shareholders have approved. Sixth and finally, on the 2025 CEO Performance Award to our founder and CEO Elon Musk, with over 75% voting in favor, approved.
What a weird thing. Like, I'm genuinely happy when people do well, even if it's people that I don't necessarily care for. And I'm not saying I don't care for Elon Musk. There are things that I admire about him, and there are things that I don't care for so much for. But in general, I'm pretty neutral to the guy as a human. There are definitely things that I disagree that he does with, especially like, let's just go with the rationale for his humongous pay package. I think that's a dumb rationale. But I won't go into that again. Anyway, so I'm not like I'm not one of those people like the world is going to end. Elon Musk is going to be the first trillionaire. There's still a lot of hurdles that he has to cross over to get that money. And I did read through the proxy statement some of the things that he has to do. The proxy statement is long, and in my eye, it's just kind of like overwhelming. There's just a lot of information there. So it's kind of hard to go through it all in a short period of time. I've been doing this since yesterday, November 5th or 6th. It is now November 7th. So this takes time to go through all this stuff. But from what I can gather through the things that I looked at, it looks like, I'll just give you an example. So Elon needs 10 million full self-driving subscribers to hit one of the thresholds. And that's 10 million people paying basically $100 a month. That's $1 billion a month if I'm doing my math right, and it's all in my head. So I don't know if I'm doing it right or not. But if I had to guess, I would guess $1 billion. I'm going to do the math. Hold on just a second. Anyway, the point is if he does this, if he accomplishes it, that's great. Let's say he can't accomplish it, right? Let's say he is 7 million subscribers away and 3 months away from hitting that number. If he dropped full self-driving subscription down to, let's see, if he dropped it down to $1 and he made up the rest of that 7 million or however many I said, 3 million that he needs to cover, then Tesla would consider that gaming the system, and he shouldn't get his money because they have a thing in there that the board controls whether it's gaming the system or not. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm still looking up what 99 times 10 million is, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, $990 million. So if it was $100, it would be $1 billion. So $990 million a month is what Tesla would have to, where Elon would have to reach. And he can't manipulate those numbers in a dramatic way. Now, if they dropped it down to 50, does that count as gaming the system? Maybe. I don't know. If they dropped it to 25, I bet you that would count as gaming the system, especially if it's really close to Elon hitting that benchmark. And they're like, it's $25 for everybody. And then, he hit that threshold and then they're like, no, it's $100 again. That would be considered gaming the system. So, all right. Well, folks, I have chatted with you long enough. Let's go ahead and end it here. If you would like to grant my pay package, please go to supportkilowatt.com. I am not asking for a $1 trillion pay package. That is ridiculous. I am asking for a $750 million pay package. And all you got to do is go to supportkilowatt.com and sign up. And if 750 million of you pledge $1, we're in good shape. I'm on my way. And I promise I will, for $750 million, I will make this show my priority. I will quit all of my other extracurricular activities that draw me away from the show. I promise I will do that. And yeah, I'll probably do that for about 2 months until I have $1.5 billion. And then I will quit everything. But anyway, I'm just kidding. But supportkilowatt.com if you want to support the show. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for listening. And in a few short days, I got some things going, but in a few short days, we'll have the second part of this shareholder meeting. And maybe tomorrow, I'm not making any promises, but by Monday or Tuesday, we'll have the second part. All right, everybody, thanks so much, and I will talk to you soon.
Hi, this is Joe from Vanta. In today's digital world, compliance regulations are changing constantly, and earning customer trust has never mattered more. Vanta helps companies get compliant fast and stay secure with the most advanced AI, automation, and continuous monitoring out there. So whether you're a startup going for your first SOC 2 or ISO 27001, or a growing enterprise managing vendor risk, Vanta makes it quick, easy, and scalable. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. Get started at vanta.com.
Parles-tu français?
¿Hablas español?
Parli italiano?
If you've used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based technique teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world. With lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/acast. Spelled BABBEL.com/acast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit Earnin.com for full details.